Supports are incredibly powerful in Wuthering Waves. Keeping your team alive is one of the greatest ways to increase your overall DPS. It's hard to deal damage if you're dead. With access to powerful Sonata sets like Rejuvenating Glow or Moonlit Clouds and damage boosts to teammates present across all of their kits, it's highly recommended to slot one of these supports in across all of your teams. When the endgame in Wuthering Waves requires you to field 3 teams from your roster, identifying your ideal 3 supports early on is a fantastic way to save resources across your account. As you can see, it's getting a bit rough out here, especially on the shell credit side. Once you hit UL 40, you might find yourself scraping the bottom of the barrel for every resource you can. Today I'll be covering the second of my top 3 picks for the support role, their best echo sets, weapons, and best team comps, so that you can focus on your investments across your roster and maximize the usage of your limited resources. Our second support had their name absolutely slandered across CBT2 testing. It's none other than Jianxin, everybody's favorite residential arrow monk. Jianxin is a fantastic support that provides incredible role consolidation across many teams. Her biggest draws include sustaining ability through her forte bar, incredible grouping from her resonance liberation, and parrying through her resonance skill. Her resonance skill can be held to fully block an enemy's attack and counterattack. Releasing this press early launches a weakened version of the counter. Her forte bar, when fully charged and activated, provides damage reduction to Jianxin and a shield that scales higher as she continues channeling. This channel, activated by holding down the heavy attack button, also damages enemies around her during the channel. While her shield holds, the on-field character receives healing. However, this forte bar takes a while to charge up just from regular attacks, and so it's highly recommended to use both Jianxin's intro skill and her enhanced counter to charge this bar up faster. Jianxin's damage boosting capabilities are some of the highest in the game. Her outro skill provides a huge 38% damage boost to resonance liberations for the incoming resonator. In her optimal team with Yinlin and Calcharo, it's best to use it on Yinlin, who can run through her normal rotation and then provide her outro buff to Calcharo. However, due to the fact that both of her optimal teammates do a good portion of their damage through resonance liberations, players have a lot more flexibility throughout this team's rotations, depending on who has their ultimate ready to immediately cast after Jianxin's outro. The only mistake you want to avoid in this team is applying Yinlin's outro buff to Jianxin. However, even in this worst case scenario, Jianxin can benefit from Yinlin's resonance liberation damage boost. When it comes to Jianxin's skill upgrades, she has a mix of both offensive and supportive abilities, with increases to her resonance liberation's damage and a 20% boost to her shield strength. When it comes to her sequence nodes, they provide greater flexibility within her kit. Notable upgrades include S1, which heavily increases her forte bar generation through basic attacks, S2, which allows for 2 casts of her parry, also increasing her forte bar generation, S3, which allows for access to the enhanced parry after 2.5 seconds of charging, S4, which increases her resonance liberation's pull range, and S6, which grants her even more uptime on her shield after casting her forte bar. When it comes to her echoes, Rejuvenating Glow and the Bell Turtle Echo are her optimal echo setup. The Bell Turtle's echo skill, when activated after generating her forte bar's shield, increases its uptime and guarantees more healing across its duration. Players can even cast the turtle before charging her forte bar. The damage reduction appears to stack additively and completely block damage while she is charging her shield, granting Jianxin 100% DR for the charge. When it comes to her echo, main, and substats, there are different approaches a player can take depending on what role she's taking on her teams. Jianxin's entire kit scales off attack. Her shield only provides healing as long as it holds, so a full set of attack percentage main stats across her echoes will provide the largest shield to her team. In this scenario, as a full sustain-oriented build, ER and attack are the main substats to look for here. Players can also lean more into her grouping and utility, and build some energy recharge percentage 3 costs into her build, increasing her uptime on her Resonance Liberation. Players who find that they don't need all of the sustain provided by a full attack build can instead work towards a damage-oriented build, with more critical stats, Resonance Liberation damage, and heavy attack-oriented substats. Some players even recommend running the Sierra Gale Sonata set on her to maximize her damage capabilities, but I personally believe that the buffs granted by Rejuvenating Glow to her entire team, including herself, outweighs this boost to her personal damage. When it comes to weapons, Jianxin has some complications due to her scaling. With her shield scaling directly off attack and her healing only available during her shield, low base attack weapons like Marcado that would normally be amazing for support can greatly diminish her sustainability. If a player is running this weapon, or other low base attack 3-star weapons, it's highly recommended to run full attack main stats on her echoes. Other 4-star recommendations begin with Hollow Mirage. This weapon provides a relatively high base attack and attack substat, with more increases to attack after casting a Resonance Liberation. This weapon's large attack boost can give huge boosts to Jianxin's shield and healing, while also giving more freedom to build offensive stats in crit. Gauntlets number 21 is another craftable recommendation. This weapon provides an innate attack boost, increase to parry damage, and a built-in heal that can activate Rejuvenating Glow's effect without using Jianxin's Forte Bar. For the budget options, Originite Type 4 is a fantastic choice for a support due to that aforementioned ability that we saw in Gauntlets number 21. You can simply use your Resonance skill to apply a heal, and get that Rejuvenating Glow bonus immediately in her normal rotations versus after she applies her Forte Bar shield. However, the low base attack on the weapon and its critical damage substat aren't the best for her raw sustainability. Moving on to the 5-star weapons, Abyss Surges may be Jianxin's best weapon stat-wise. It has the highest base attack and attack percentage main stat in the game, alongside a built-in energy regeneration buff. She unfortunately doesn't make a huge use out of its damage boosting effects though. Her shield and healing will be incredibly powerful with this weapon, and those looking to build a damage-oriented Jianxin will find more room for critical rate in their substats and main stats while running this weapon. For those looking for another weapon in the damage-oriented department, Stonard, despite not being a 5-star, synergizes fantastically with Jianxin's overall kit, granting a boost to Resonance Liberation damage after casting a Resonance skill. With the existing boost to her Resonance Liberation damage already within her skill tree, this can make her ultimate do a respectable amount of damage while also providing that fantastic grouping. Overall, Jianxin consolidates many high-priority roles in any team she's slotted into. Depending on your weapons and team requirements, she can flex into a wide variety of different builds that emphasize sustain, grouping, or even damage. She is, in my opinion, one of the highest priority teammates for any character that delivers a large portion of their personal damage through Resonance Liberations. The fact that she provides grouping as well is simply the cherry on top, and I think that she's a character that's only going to get better with age. Hopefully, this short and sweet overview on Jianxin's capabilities has highlighted the massive upside she can bring to teams. She makes a fantastic team with Calcharo and Yinlin that I found massive success with in the Tower of Adversity Hazard Zone. Be on the lookout for the next episode, where we'll be focusing on a support who's always top of mind whenever somebody mentions the role. Till then, peace out.